The government shutdown. Tell me, how's that impacting housing right now? As you see it as an impact on housing?
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
There are a number of pain points inside this for people getting mortgages. If we start with just the headline, let's start with those people that are furloughed. If you are furloughed from your job, you're not going to be able to use that income that you would normally receive from that job for your loan qualification. So it's effectively you are unemployed.
Okay. All right.
And you won't be able to, use that income until such time as you return to work and that sort of thing.
Wow.
There's a second sort of nuanced layer to this in regards to some people are required to go to work, but they're not receiving paychecks.
Yeah.
So you think our U.S. military, their last paycheck happens on the 15th.
Wow.
Until such time as the government reopens. So the U.S. military, everybody, that stinks, right? They have to show up to work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, but they're not receiving paychecks. There's rules in each of the major loan programs that say, I need pay stubs that have to be this current. Say within 30 days of the application is a common answer. So the older or the farther that runs on, eventually they'll fall out and no longer be financeable. Even though they're working, we can verify they're going to work, but they're just not making money. That eventually comes out and they get stopped.
Okay.
Another really interesting category is the National Flood Insurance Program.
Oh.
That is shut down. No new government supported flood insurance policies are being issued from now until the government reopens.
So if you're buying a home in a floodplain, you really can't buy the home.
Yes, there are. And
are there private flood insurances
there
you can do?
Like in our world here in Nevada, private flood insurance seems to be available and you can get it.
Okay.
It's a matter of a function of price. Is that better or worse? Those type of things. But there are other areas in the country where you can't get private flood insurance. They don't want to offer on the coast of Florida private flood insurance.
New Orleans.
Yeah. The only insurance available is the government programs, and so they're effectively blocked from closing on those deals.
Wow.
Can't even sell those houses when financing is involved because we all would require flood insurance, right?
Ouch.
So that's another big area.
Okay, so let's talk about not necessarily looking to buy a home, but already having a home.
Yes.
And I've got a mortgage payment, and I'm not getting a paycheck. I mean, this is scary, right?
This is a hard reality for a lot of people that don't have the savings to weather this out, let's say, or the ability,
Vast majority don't. They don't have it. Particularly if this goes on for several months. I mean, people have very little in the way of support.
It gets ugly really quickly.
They can start tapping credit cards, but that's expensive as heck.
It is expensive.
20%, 24%. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's many people that are going to be negatively impacted by that.
I remember in the past now, like even during COVID, when we had people, basically the economy was shut down.
Yeah,
lenders were kind of they were doing forbearance. They were doing that at that point.
Well,
is that something they might consider now? Do you think?
Well, the Congress passed a law that said lenders must support you in a forbearance, and they had another layer, which was this can't be reported negatively against you.
Right.
There's no such law for this current event.
Okay.
Right, as of now.
Right.
And so if a person is kind of choosing the lesser of all evils in these financial terms, right? It is certainly best to communicate with the people that you're owing money to that you're not going to be able to pay this month.
Yeah.
Reach out to them, let them know, request that for the forbearance so that they're not penalizing you with a bunch of extra late fees, penalties, hounding you with phone calls. Are you going to pay or not?
Yeah.
The better you communicate with them, the better the process is going to be. 100%.
Get in front of it. I mean, if I'm in this boat and I'm looking at my stack of bills that I've got to pay on a monthly basis, and I'm looking at that mortgage payment, it's the one big one. If I can hold that one off, I can pay everything else. Yeah. That's what I want to do. I don't want to have to deal with calling 16 different creditors or utilities and groceries and all these other things. I'd rather maybe I can get the lender to hold off, and then I can cover the rest of the stuff with my savings, and then just ask them, hey, hang on until I get my job back, and I'm going to get my job back.
Right.
So let me do that. Hopefully I'm going to get my job back.
There's two sides to that ultimately, but there's a significant amount of logic to what you're saying, which is if I can talk to my mortgage and get them to say, okay, we know you're not going to pay this month, and let you save that multiple $1,000 payment to fill gaps in other places. There's a logic to that, and maybe that's a simple one call kind of solution. But there are consequences to it. One is it is a distress event.
Yeah.
So if you're in the planning to buy a house in the next 6 months in the future or a year in the future, that's going to be something that's probably going to come up. A negative report, right? There's nothing stopping them from reporting you late on your credit.
Right.
They're just simply saying, we understand you're not going to pay this month. We're not going to hit you with the late fee, for example.
Okay.
Or we're going to wait you out. Or we'll get you started on some sort of loan modification program that could possibly reduce your payment for a period of time.
All right.
There's all kinds of workouts there. But I will say that there is at least a sort of a formalized process in the mortgage industry to deal with those situations.
Okay.
Whereas maybe it's harder on other miscellaneous type of loans, like say student loans or something.
Car payments and other credit card debt and all those other things that you may have piled up. And those, again, maybe you have to make those calls instead.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're more important to you to keep up with the mortgage and then make those other phone calls.
If I'm looking in the terms of the filter of like what happens to credit scores and stuff, a single account having a late payment is much better for you than multiple accounts all going late at the same time.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So limit the damage as much as you possibly can is good advice when it comes to credit scoring.
Create one event, not multiple events.
Correct.
Yeah. I
And
think
you can explain it. Government shut down. I was not being paid for whatever period of time.
Yeah, I would think that as a lender going forward, and let's say the shutdown lasts for 6, 8, 10 weeks or something like that, where they maybe missed a payment or two, and then 6 months from now they're looking to buy a home. Would a letter of explanation offset that? Is that a possibility that a lender would say, "Yeah, I get it. You missed a couple payments, but here's what happened. I get it."
Well, I would tell you in the rules as it's written currently, a single late payment could be tolerated. We can give you grace for that. You have 2 late payments
That's
in the most that starts to break loans.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're doing anything, certainly in the jumbo world, they see a single late payment, they could block you.
I gotcha.
And the idea here is the mortgages can get kind of tough on people insofar as they expect you to be able to handle bumps in the roads, and deal with these momentary events. But hopefully it doesn't last that long to where people have to really get into this.
I'm trying to just play it out for a worst case scenario. I hope that's a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I hope people are back to work before the end of the year for sure.
At least hopefully before Nevada Day.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
I personally think it's going into November.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be the pain point for multiple paychecks being missed by people.
Yeah.
When air traffic controllers stop showing up, as we saw in Burbank.
Oh yeah.
And people stop going to work because they're not getting paid any longer, and there's a line for all of us on that. I would imagine, right?
Yeah. At some point,
I need to go get some other non-government job to be able to pay my bills.
Indeed. Yeah.
There's a level of intolerance where you just can't endure one more. Missing one
I'm
more
not
check.
sensing a rage from the average American out there yet about the government shutdown.
No.
It's like, they're doing that, but it's not really bothering me yet.
It's not impacting me personally yet.
But you go out 30 days, 45 days, now that starts to impact more and more people.
And the people who live in around D.C. and Virginia, they're dramatically impacted.
You're hundreds of thousands of people affected, whereas like say
that
in the Las
economy is
Vegas
going
area,
That's a lot of mortgages around there.
Indeed.
Yep.
That's going to be a problem for a lot of people.
What about like I know that every mortgage lender that my clients ever are using that has to get transcripts from the IRS, and I mean if their system's going down, if they're getting furloughed, and you guys can't confirm tax return transcripts.
This is another area I haven't talked about it, but absolutely verifying tax information or Social Security information. As those services shut off, you could be blocked from getting loans.